I
Have you
haven't been
noticed
in
that?
here
It's the
before, so I
hills around the
couldn't
outside.
answer for you. I'm sorry. This is my first time here. So
Mm,
Maybe.
that's okay. Um,
I wasn't
yeah.
ignoring you. I just don't know the answer for you.
No, that's totally cool. I'm just waffling really generally to the room,
Gotcha.
not to you specifically.
Gotcha.
Um,
Gotcha. I can hear you so
yeah.
well.
So yeah, I've got myself on what we call megaphone, right? It's where you can kind of run an event like this. You can make yourself more prominent audio wise.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Very nice. Oh, because you're the one that's going to be talking?
that's me. Yeah.
Very good. Okay, makes sense now. Right on. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too. So first things first,
Okay,
right?
bye-bye.
We just closed out on our first World Builder competition, first of many, hopefully, right? Using the World Builder tool that we've all got to know and love over the last little while. It's been an interesting run. Definitely some issues that we've identified along the way. It's really given us the kick up the bum to start rebuilding the World Builder into a much more integrated system. So far, we've kind of been building it as an SDK sample, right? The World Builder itself is kind of part of the SDK. You know, what kind of happened is that now at this point, we've realized we really want to scale this thing up when we want to add a lot more cool stuff to it. And yeah, I guess it's kind of part of the SDK. Are we connected? You know, anyway, yeah, for us,
Re-megaphone yourself.
Megaphone.
oh, there we go. Can you? Cool. Yeah, for us anyway, C sharp is a bit easier at scale, let's say, right? When it comes to building things out, right? Visual scripting is really great. Actually, I've really come to learn how great it can be for sort of small scale, you know, mini games, modular pieces, that kind of stuff. It can work really, really great for, right? But if I'm honest, I guess it boils down to what your preference is, and my preference would be code. Um, it's honestly something I wanted to talk to you guys about today because I actually think in both cases, right? In the case of visual scripting, or in the case of just raw code, that we actually have some really big things coming down the line. So yeah, I'm just going to waffle. By the way, I'll just before I jump into it, I'll say to anybody here who wants to stop me, just jump up here onto the little podium and feel free, and I'll megaphone you, and you can ask me any question you want. Right? All my waffle is just filler in between any questions. This is otherwise pretty much an AMA style, right? So if anybody wants to jump on up in there, then go right ahead.
I got one little.
Yeah, go ahead. Great head. What do you got for
One
us?
little thing. When you bring up your menu, okay, just bring it up. Over on the right-hand side where it shows the name of the world, can you put a little heart there so you can favorite it? It would make it a lot easier to favorite the world you're in right there, I think. I don't know.
Nice.
So I don't know if that's hard to do
Well,
or not, but I thought that'd be an easy thing
no,
to
it's
do.
probably pretty simple to do, I'd say, to just add that in there. I also think we need a little bit of padding around the space name. Kind of annoys me a little bit that it comes so close to the edge of that panel. I don't know about the rest of you guys. It drives
What screen are you
what I
talking
like to
about
call
on?
my OCD a
Which
bit
one?
crazy.
Just when
In
you
the menu,
open
you've
your...
got a left panel. Yeah, when you open your menu, you've got a right-hand panel that shows space settings, and you can rejoin the space or respawn, and the name of the space. Just doesn't have enough padding there. I think we need to get it fixed. Thankfully, Shoseki is streaming this, right? So I can
If you
review the
click on
stream.
spaces, it does have that heart. If you just click on spaces, how I don't know how to access.
Yes.
I'm new. I don't know how to access the one that I'm in right now. The information about the one I'm in right now. If I just open my menu,
Gotcha. Well, it should be over. Yeah. So once you open your menu, it should be over here on the right? You should see the big Bantathon orange part of the top of the card, just below where you've got the quick menu and your profile picture, just down there, basically. And yeah, a little heart there couldn't go astray, so you can favorite the current world you're in. That's definitely a good shout. Yeah. So yeah, anyway, I'll just continue to waffle. Scripting, right? I don't know what you guys think about scripting, but I actually think there's a number of really cool things that are in the future for us here. One of them is actual C# scripting. I was looking at a very exciting project today. Now, I'm not going to say for sure, but yeah, those of you who are interested in that, get excited because there's potentially a good possibility we could be talking about C# scripting. There's a library I was looking at today, and it's able to somehow do just-in-time compilation of C# into IL instructions at runtime, right? And for any of you that are familiar, that's actually a pretty crazy thing. So yeah, there's every possibility that we could be looking at adding C# scripting, right? That's actually going to bring us to a total of 3 different scripting languages that you'll be able to use inside of Banter, right? You'll have a plethora to choose from, right? Because we've already got Unity visual scripting, the one we added most recently, and JavaScript, right, within the browser environment. And being able to mix those two together. And we're probably going to be looking at a similar level of mixing C# with JavaScript, right? And being able to kind of communicate back and forth between those different things. Honestly, I have loads of things to talk about. Last time I was in here with the AI version of myself that was very diverse in its capabilities to impersonate me. But yeah, this time I've just got honestly so much to talk about. I don't even have time to bring the agents in so we can all laugh at something that sounds like me and talks like me quite a lot. It's eerie. But yeah, visual scripting, right? So I said C# is something cool that we're looking into. It's definitely something that I'm going to take quite seriously. But visual scripting is also something that we've been doing some really interesting things with recently. We have basically been able to get a proof of concept going that allows us to dynamically switch out a script graph at runtime. So what's interesting about that is that it proves that it's possible for us to be able to allow you to edit those at runtime and to be able to save those and be able to swap them in and out, right? So what that means is that there's a possibility that we can build an interface for the visual scripting inside of VR, right? So you'd be able to edit scripts on objects in Banter without using Unity. That's kind of what this would let you do. Now, honestly, there's a lot of things to discuss, a lot of design choices. Most recently, I've kind of been expanding my circle in terms of interacting with some people in the space. So there's probably going to be some external influences in terms of input on some of this too. And I honestly think that's a good thing, because I think in a lot of ways we could probably do with getting out of our own heads a little bit over here. And I think if you can get my tone anyway, that's why that's why I'm now working towards so many of these things, right? That maybe in the past we might not have considered. But fuck it, let's open it all up. Let's see what the hell happens, right? Let's just give people the power, try to implement some protections, right? Within these systems, thankfully, there is layers of protection built in, and we are able to isolate and disable access to certain namespaces and members and functions so that people can't do certain nasty stuff, right? And thankfully, these systems have been built with that in mind, and the people who are doing it, are very knowledgeable to the point at which I'm willing to trust what they're doing. Assuming we don't introduce any problems ourselves, it actually looks like it's a really robust system. So yeah, on the visual scripting front, you can imagine, right, there's a lot of different ways that could work. We could have like nodes and links here in VR that you can open them up on the visual. Another possibility, and we were actually considering that this could be better, is to potentially present them on a 2D interface, right? And make it so that you can actually interact with it and zoom around and maybe have a bit more control to be able to use it. Or maybe both, right? We could potentially look at multiple modes. What's really exciting about visual scripting, at least from what I've discovered, is that under the hood, inside the actual script graph asset file, usually you've got the boilerplate of however many YAML lines any Unity asset typically contains. But down the bottom, you have like a data property or something like that, and it contains a huge big blob of JSON, right? And I don't know if anybody in here is familiar with JSON, but JSON is pretty much the format of choice when it comes to, I don't know, transfer data between pretty much anywhere and anywhere else in a lot of different ways, right? APIs, pretty much, any kind of communication. You can usually be pretty unsurprised, I guess, if it's JSON. But in a nutshell, that makes it quite compelling to just be able to pull out that JSON blob and see, can we just pull together an interface, or maybe even pull together some tooling that makes it easy to create different interfaces for this, right? And maybe have interfaces in different languages. There could be a scenario in the future where you can edit a visual script on the Banter website, right? In the marketplace. You can open it up and it's your script, and you can edit it right there and then in the browser. Or you can edit it here in Banter. Or you can edit it inside Unity using Unity's own visual scripting edit system, right? You can do all of these things. So yeah, I think that's a pretty exciting thing. I think there's a possibility we might try to see if we can maybe even contribute that sort of thing back to the community, because it seems like it could be something that's really powerful and really valuable. Go ahead, Shimi.
This may be way off in the weeds. This may be way off in the weeds, but is the reason for the runtime compilation essentially? Can you hear me?
Yep.
You guys getting me? Is the reason for the runtime compilation essentially like to grep for file and exec in the C#?
To grep for file and exec in the C#? You mean to protect against those kind of things?
Yeah, I'm just wondering why you have to compile at runtime.
So, I mean, if you're talking about user scripting, right, and being able to use C# scripting at runtime, so if users are creating content outside of the build, then that's technically existing outside, and outside of build time for the application, I guess, right, which is the important one here. And in that case, there is no way currently to package up or build scripts inside of asset bundles or addressables or, those typical portable DLC-like formats that Unity uses and we use here in Banter. Every space is like an asset bundle or a collection thereof, right? So in order to be able to provide users with a user scripting layer that can allow them to create content using the runtime client, then they'd need to have some ability to compile that at runtime.
Cool. A lot of what you said was over my head, but I appreciate the hearing me.
Yeah, no problem at all. Appreciate the question.
Oh, can I say one thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Rec Room has had this for a while, where they write code in the world.
Yes.
Rec
Room has a visual scripting system.
Right. They are just starting to use AI with that to allow the kids to write code with AI. So I don't. That's
Sounds
way
exciting.
down the road, but that's interesting. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, some of the steps we're taking right now are really going to rip the lid off of it in terms of what you'll be able to do, especially with AI, right? I mean, for most cases now, if you're going to download VS Code, which is kind of a little bit of entry level, let's say, to C#, has some tools, not all of them, but it includes free Copilot. There's a free tier you can get now, right? All of these things are owned by Microsoft, whether it's Copilot or it's GitHub or it's VS Code. All three of those are required, but you can get free Copilot. And then instantly C# becomes a thing it knows and knows well, right? This is something that it's going to be really, really good at. But it doesn't really end there, because obviously JavaScript, that's another area that it can absolutely go ahead and happily generate code at runtime and be able to maybe swap that in and out on the fly, right? Which means that there's an iterative process could come from that. But the other thing is the visual scripting, right? Because we're kind of reducing it down to its fundamental level and we're working with it in JSON format, there's every possibility we might be able to create enough of a knowledge base for an AI agent, let's say, an assistant, right, to be able to tag along with you and be able to write code in real time at runtime.
Yep, that'll help. That'll be great.
Yeah. So that's all the basis really, right? But the C# ones and the JavaScript ones, they're going to be super easy for AI to get going with. Apologies if you can hear my dog barking in the background. Go ahead, Trey. Have you got a question?
Yeah, I got a question. I'm late. I missed the last one, so excuse me if you're repeating anything that I missed. But
That's okay.
so number one thing, is it gonna be like any kind of? I know I commented on the Discord before about having the marketplace on like as in the quick menu, somehow integrating that into the quick menu. Would that
Yeah,
be
I mean,
possible?
it's yeah, definitely would be possible. You know, I guess there's a couple of things to unpack there, right? The quick menu is obviously available in any world that you go into, but the
Mhm.
marketplace isn't necessarily available in every world, or maybe to put that a better way, maybe in some worlds it shouldn't be available, right? I'm sure you can imagine maybe
Mhm.
there's a gamified experience or an event that's going on, and people being able to spawn objects in from a market in that instance could get disruptive, possibly, right? But
And then
to your
that can be
point, yeah, there's
something
every
somebody can turn off
possibility.
in their world. Yeah, that
Yes,
could be an
yes,
option.
absolutely. Yeah,
Mhm.
or it could be that the world itself is able to control and populate the quick menu, right? That's actually something that we've already
Mhm.
got. You're able to customize the quick menu with some extra code inside your world and add custom
Mhm.
items to it. So that could definitely be a thing. Um, Honestly, I would say right now we're looking at rebuilding the world builder, and we're honestly
Okay.
going
Okay.
back to the drawing board and really looking at everything that it does, and what people want to get from it, and how we can try and make it easier if possible, right, and more powerful. That's the balance that you want,
Okay.
always out of these things. And
Okay.
yeah, we're obviously we're really excited about being able to surface scripting within the game, right? That's a huge part. Being able to edit
Mhm.
scripts on objects in world, right? And maybe being able to like
Yeah.
remix scripts and maybe swap in and out different scripts on the fly. That's definitely something that
Mhm.
yeah, I'm pretty excited about. But there's a few other things I think that we want to try and build, which might make things a bit easier, right? And I can talk you
Mhm.
through some of those. So anybody's familiar with Unity, some of these terms will probably make sense to you. With something in the way of an inspector, right? Something that
Mhm.
allows you to select and
Yes.
highlight an
An inspector.
object,
Yep.
and then
I know what that
it can
is.
provide you with, yeah, exactly, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But you
Yes.
can adjust transforms, you can adjust component properties. You've got all the options for that object that you can kind of open up and access. So inspector is definitely an
Okay.
area that we want to try to cover. On top of
Okay.
that, another important area I think is having effective gizmos, right? And what I mean by gizmos, if anybody's unfamiliar, it's generally in Unity, I guess it's a term that refers to any kind of display object or test or debug object that you might kind of place inside your scene. But it might be more well known, let's say, as those arrows that show you where you're positioning it and whether you're scaling it
Yes.
or rotating
Yes.
it,
Yes.
all those
Mhm.
shapes,
X,
right?
Y, and
To
Z.
be able to provide that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly that, right? To be able to
Yeah.
provide something like that that allows you to kind of move objects
Mhm.
around in a precise way on a per axis level. Uh, and then on top of that again, right, this is the more human organic way that maybe you can just pick an object up with your hand, right? And maybe you can grab it with two hands and then
Mhm.
drag it up, and that scales it up in your hand, right? I
Yeah.
think if we focus on these key components and being able to do this with objects, that actually we'll be able to do a lot more than what we can do right now, right? And we'll be able to
That's true.
position things because we can build out the kind of snapping and grid systems that you can, that you would expect to have in Unity as well, right? So you can move
Yes.
objects around with precision, but also make them fall flat on the ground, exactly flat on the ground,
Yes.
if that's what you want to be able to do.
Yes, that's what I want to
And
do.
then yeah,
Speaking of
you,
flat on the ground, like I keep bringing this up, but like the marketplace, I uploaded, was testing and playing around with it. And what's that bounding box around
yes.
it? What's up with that? Like, yes, what is up with that bounding
Yes.
box
Well,
around
this
it?
this is one of the reasons, right, why we want to kind of rebuild this from scratch, because we're realizing as we get further into it that things are starting to kind of get to a point where it's getting more and more complex, right, to be able to
Mm-hmm.
continue to develop it as it is. So this is part of the reason why we want
Gotcha.
to do that. But I've been
Okay.
thinking about that. I think maybe it's possible if you were to use the world builder that comes in the SDK sample, right? The one that you can
Yes.
do in Unity, and then you can
Uh-huh.
add your extra stuff into it. You could possibly
Yes.
just create a slightly false floor, right? Maybe if you had a slight amount of
Uh-huh.
space and a collider just below the floor, that might allow you to offset and place the object closer to the floor. Right? That's not
Okay.
by any means ideal. But I'm just trying to
Yeah,
think of a
yeah.
solution that might be able to tie you over as a
Oh yeah,
workaround in the
it's
meantime,
not
right? A
it's
little bit of
not a serious
smoke and
matter.
mirrors.
Yeah, I just was asking. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't need it right now. I just was saying, so I can wait until y'all come up with a
In the
better.
in
Yeah.
Yeah. In the future, you can hopefully have gizmos that will, like I say, let you do all of this stuff, and yeah,
Okay.
all of these problems will then
Okay.
be problems of the past.
Uh,
Honestly, building what we've built with this world builder has been honestly such a learning experience, really, and it's something that we got to really prototype very quickly, and really get out here and start to work with, right? And from obviously the big AI parts of it, but also building out the market and starting to explore how we can do that, starting to kind of walk that path and find what are the pain points that we need to address there. So there's a huge amount of learnings that have come out of this, which is going to make this next version, I think, really good.
okay.
But yeah, I mean, with things like that, with an in-game inspector, with in-game gizmos, with an in-game script editor, and the ability to just move stuff around with your hands if you want, that
Yeah,
actually could get really powerful really quickly and let you do a
I
lot
got
all in
you.
here in Banter, right? Without actually having to jump into Unity or anything like that.
Got you. Oh
But
yeah.
also, Unity as a
Doesn't Bone
workflow
Lab
is
have something
still
like
just as it always was.
Bone Lab has
What's
something
that?
similar to that? Is that what you're talking? Bone Lab, the game Bone Lab. Is that what you're talking about when you're saying to be able to manipulate objects in game, or are you talking about?
I mean, yes, in general, right? In some ways, we have a similar sort of a level of physics set up here, and absolutely to be able to manipulate objects, right? Two-handed grabs of guns and being able to do all sorts of physics stuff with that is completely something that could be built out on top of what we've got here.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I was meaning more just generally, right? You pick up a cube and you can just make it slightly bigger. It wouldn't necessarily even have to be physics based, but it could. I guess it depends in a world building scenario, especially when you're dealing with a wide range of objects. They may or may not be perfectly set up for physics, so physics might not always be possible.
Okay.
So in that case, maybe a more consistent thing. But honestly, you slap a rigid body component onto it and watch it as it falls to the ground and kicks around. Slap a
Yeah.
synced object component onto it, and everybody else can see it moving around as well, right? In those situations, we kind of have to figure out how do we have even an edit and a play mode where we can take certain things and kind of pause them at runtime in order to let people work with them, right? So that all your animations and all your rigid bodies aren't flying everywhere while you're trying to build your space out. But yeah, absolutely. We're still working on it, but we've got a pretty complicated grab system here that allows you to do, like, obviously two-handed grabs, but it does cylinder grabs, it does sphere grabs, it does an implementation called soft grab, which is just a generic grab. We've actually got some fixes coming to that fairly soon if anybody's interested, because I know there have been some problems with soft grab. Actually, we've got a bunch of fixes coming next week. I've somehow managed to figure out some of the more serious bugs that we've been experiencing recently, trying to chase down one, and we accidentally found two other ones that were pretty significant and also causing problems. So The last one was the really painful one, but thankfully the hard part is now over, which is just getting it to reproduce and getting a handle on what it is. Now it's the easy part, right? Which is just implementing the fix and getting it rolled out. So anybody who's been experiencing things like it freezes when you're loading in, or it freezes 10 to 15 seconds after you've loaded in. I know Triffid, if you're still here, you might have mentioned that.
Yep.
I don't know if
Yeah, I
Triffid's still
have.
here.
I have.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, IT Trey as well.
Yes.
Yeah, designer girl who's been a
Sometimes it
great
takes like
help
3
towards us
times.
being able to.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes,
I was
this
prevailed
exact
like 8
issue. If
times.
you stay
Yeah.
tuned for a day or two, we'll have a fix out that addresses that. Absolutely.
One little.
Would that be an update?
That was
A Banter update? Would that be an app update?
yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, we'll do. Yeah,
Cool.
absolutely.
Okay.
One little
Okay.
bug or feature, depends on how you look at it,
Yes.
is when you're doing something with the AI builder, occasionally, like the whole world shakes for a moment while it's building things. It's either the panels moving or the whole world's shaking for just a moment, and then it settles out. I don't know if that's I don't know if anybody else has noticed that.
It could. It actually could be
my
related.
headset.
Possibly. It
I
could
don't
be.
know.
It could be related. It might actually not be the world builder, but it could be related. The problems that we discovered were related to some networking stuff that we've got going on, particularly network synced objects, right? Which covers quite a broad range of spaces, including the world builder spaces. You've got the manipulator, right? That's a network synced object in that instance. So that could absolutely be what it was. Maybe the shaking was actually stutter, right, or hitching, severe hitching in the rendering, and that might have made it feel like everything was shaking a little bit.
Right.
And in that case, that could absolutely be what it is. Let's see if that's still
Every time
happening
I'm doing it
next week.
every time it does it, I'm looking at the panel, so I don't notice if the world is shaking or if it's just the panel shaking. But it's just I see it
It's
shudder for a
probably
moment.
the whole world.
Yeah, it's
I
probably
would
an
say it's
earthquake when you
probably the
load
whole
in some
world.
big buildings.
Yes,
They have to
yes.
come from
That could be it.
somewhere.
All those Italian buildings I was
We
doing
did see
had
the
a lot of
buildings.
earthquake.
We
Yeah.
did see the Italian buildings.
It
Yes,
just, yeah.
the Italian buildings.
I should have put a volcano.
That was a
in. They got the
particular favorite
volcano.
of mine.
Yeah.
Yes.
They get the
Nice.
volcano going.
Yeah, so I have loads more I can waffle about if anybody doesn't have any questions. If you do, like I
I got
say,
a
feel free to
quick
make your way up to
question.
the
One more
podium or just
question.
wave. Yeah, go ahead, Trey.
One more question. Okay, so are you familiar with I think I brought this up before, but are you familiar with the sitting system they have like in Spatial and Horizon World where you can just drag and drop? It's basically integrated into the SDK. So in Unity, I can literally just like drag a sitting prefab, gizmo, whatever,
Yes.
and so the avatar can
Yes.
sit down. Is there any way possible that Banter will in the future build something like that integrated into the SDK? So when I'm in Unity building, it can be like a sitting prefab or something that I can just drag onto a chair to
Yes.
where I want the avatar to sit. Yeah.
You could put that in the marketplace so
Yes, this is
everybody
actually
has
a great.
access to it.
Or the marketplace.
Yes.
Yeah.
You just put that
Maybe.
object in the
Yeah,
marketplace
sure.
and then they just go get it. The same thing with a spawn point.
Sure.
You could have a prefab of a spawn point so people can move their spawn point. A couple other little
Yeah,
things.
it's a good idea. You can probably put a lot of different things, right? All of these sound like pretty handy little modular pieces that you might be able to just pull in and place around. No code style, right?
Yes.
Where you don't have to worry too much about how it works, but you can just throw it around. Honestly sounds like
Yeah.
a pretty great idea. But to your point, to your question, except for the part we're missing is that it doesn't automatically crouch your avatar down into a seated position, right? That's the one part that it is missing. But technically, other than that, we've already got most of the required parts to be able to attach you as an avatar to an object, right? If you're interested, it's the Banter attached object in the SDK. It's been in there for a while.
Yes.
Full disclosure,
seen it.
there might still be one or two issues with it. But now that we've finally managed to root out all of these bugs, I know that the team are going to be able to get back to building games. And I know one of them that they're building right now is a flight game with an actual airplane. So what we're doing as part of that, right, is dog fooding or dog fighting or something. But we're trying to build stuff that we can use our own SDK to build, so we can really flesh it out in terms of finding out if there's anything wrong with it, trying to improve it, and make it easier. So the attachment system is going to be getting some love very soon to try and finalize it out.
Okay.
It's going to be getting love from the right people who know what they're doing. So I can tell you they're gonna get it fixed up real good. And there should be some some worlds that use it fairly soon, as well as some samples in the SDK that you can grab and work with. But yeah, the Banter attach component for a drag and drop solution, that's definitely what you can use. It's the same in reverse as well, right? It's the same component if you want to attach an object to your avatar, or you want to attach your avatar to an object. That's kind of the thinking there.
Because I was thinking of something like jewelry or things like that, like a hat or I want to be able to attach a hat
works.
To my avatar or something like that.
Completely works. You can actually build a whole cosmetic system yourself if you wanted, right? You could have a special system that's able to let people pick extra accessories for their avatars and place them and maybe adjust them or whatever and store all of that, right? You could totally do that. Or we could do that. I don't know. I'm saying you could do that, we could do that.
Yeah.
We could all do everything. Everybody can do everything.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. All right.
But honestly, that's a really good segue into a topic that I probably want to waffle a little bit about as well. But guess what? We're working on a new avatar system. I don't know anybody about it yet or not.
Oh yeah.
But we're gonna get new avatars. It's gonna be Unity.
So is it gonna be your own avatar system, like your own avatar, like Bench's own avatar system?
And no, it's not going to be.
Are
y'all
going away from Ready Player Me, or?
Yes, possibly if we can. Though we will have some legacy support, or we'll make an effort to migrate everybody's existing avatar onto the new system. Honestly, I'm interfacing with some interesting members of the community to possibly help us figure some solutions out there. But yeah, in essence, we're going to have a new core system built in, right? But it's not going to be like, you select an avatar and you dress it up and you change all the properties of it, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be more like what you're used to on VR chat, if I'm honest, with things like custom shaders, jiggle physics, I don't know. Honestly, loads of cool things. We're talking about introducing scripting onto avatars. Scripting, not exactly sure how that's going to work just yet, but right now there's a possibility that you might be able to run scripts on your local avatar, right? Which might allow you to do different things, have little apps, personal apps that you can bring around with you from space to space, and even be able to interact with, remote parts of your avatar so that your scripting can do things that other people can see. If you know what I mean. Now, I mentioned before about C# and also about visual scripting. Well, something like this, the plan would be that it could work with
Do they do that
both.
in Second Life? Don't they do that in Second Life? I think in Second Life with their avatar system, they use C#, I think.
Maybe.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Are you gonna
but
change
you
the
know,
interface
it's
of the avatars that we have right now? Because I really struggle trying to get an avatar, and it doesn't go back. I don't know if this is like a UI issue or whatever, but when you go to like where it says edit avatar, if you push your menu and you go to this one on the right that says avatar, so when it opens that page, it doesn't go to the same place every time. It's giving me a random man avatar. And then if I click at the bottom, I kept trying to go back to the same one, right? Because this was the one that I wanted, and I wanted to edit it from it.
Yes.
Every time I went to that edit avatar, because I kept getting kicked out of that part, I had to start all over. So there needs to be a better way to recognize that edit, where you can choose from multiple avatars and edit forward. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, you guys are
absolutely
speaking on a knowledge base way beyond me. Like, I have no idea what any of you guys are talking about. I'm pretty new to this, and this is my first day in here. But that's just something that was very frustrating. If you're talking about user pain points, that was frustrating.
Absolutely,
and honestly, is for, I don't know, but
It's for anything, right? You know, whatever you want to talk about. It's ask me anything, and yeah, usually that's pretty broad. But no, you're right on the money. That is a serious pain point, and I wish sometimes I had more power to do something about it. But we made a design choice early on to use a service called Ready Player Me. If you're familiar with it, right? That's the interface that you see. Yes, exactly. That's actually a third party. The entire interface and the whole selection of it and how all of it works, unfortunately, is something we don't have any ability to change. Well, this is the thing. I won't get into it because it's a bit of a long conversation, but they seem to have, as of late, they seem to be kind of pivoting away from what they're offering.
They're not Ready Player Me no more. They're Ready Player Zero.
Yes, they're Ready Player Zero. Yeah. Yes, that's right. And it's all about crypto. And, let's get a fuck away from that.
So what does that mean then? I mean,
but
again, because I'm
so for us,
like, my knowledge is way below you guys, but
So for us, what's going to happen eventually is that screen will be replaced by a built-in avatar screen where you'll just have lists of avatars and you can just pick them.
Great.
You'll have like a set of avatar slots. You'll be able to save a certain number in. You might be able to clone other people's avatars if they allow you, right? There'll be all sorts of ways to find them. Right now, actually, if you go into the menu and you search at the top for just avatar, there's a space called Avatar Oasis. And there's just a bunch of avatars around the world, and you can go in and pick whatever one you want. So if you want a bit of an easier interface, yeah, exactly, right? If you've seen that, you get the same kind of thing. So yeah, we're going to be moving towards that as a system in general.
With your new avatar system, will we be able to build an avatar of our own and send it into the system?
Yes, I mean that's basically. I guess the entire idea is that you'll have a plugin inside of Unity. Honestly, we're going to try and make it that if you've already got a VR chat avatar, that we'll be able to quickly migrate it over for you. Don't tell anyone in VR chat I said that, right? But if you've got one, we're going to try and make like a one-click solution to just go boom and it's done, right? We want to try and do as much as we can here to try and build in optimizations. We want to try and tackle some of the problems head on that we know are coming with crashers and all sorts of different things, right? So it's going to be a learning experience for sure. But yeah, I think it's the right move because I think it's a lot of people's turn off when coming from VR chat that they can't get exactly the same avatar that they have. Go ahead, Shimi.
Yeah, not to beat a dead horse, but learning that Ready Player Me is a third party that's now involved with crypto, you can shell out in C#, and exec and file open. So is that a concern? I don't mean to be, the guy that's being paranoid.
Well, not with the way that we're going to implement it. Those things will not be possible, right? We'll be able to literally replace
in the new avatar
namespaces. In the new avatar system. In the current avatar system, none of this is possible yet at all, right? But in the new avatar system, it is going to be very protected. And there might be a wide range of things on the avatar scripting that you won't be able to access that you can access if it's like scripting for a space, right? So things will be
Is Ready Player be distributed, compiled, or when was the last time you pulled an update to
it? Ready Player Me is GLB avatars, right? That's if I understand.
Is it distributed compiled or how is it distributed?
You mean the plugin, their Unity plugin?
Yeah,
it's in source form.
I don't know. I don't know what I mean. I'm down a rabbit hole about Unity security.
It's sure. Ready Player Me is in source form. Their SDKs are all in source form. Yeah. They use mostly open source projects,
but their underlying tech is compiled.
I mean, it's server side, so I'm not really too sure as to what degree it is compiled. It depends, but that's all the generation of their avatars, all of that kind of stuff that happens on a server, right? But what it spits out
is nothing in their SDK file that's compiled.
Nothing, no.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Actually, the version that we have is heavily modified. We forked it and heavily modified it ourselves in order to, fix some issues, add improvements, make it so that it could work with dynamic avatar profiles, right, rather than just the male and the female that Ready Player Me provide. As part of the new work on the avatar, right, I know some of you might notice that we've changed some stuff related to the pose, some stuff that's changed how you appear to yourself in the mirror, and even how you appear to some other people as well. Well, we've got another phase 2 update to that coming very soon. In fact, it is done.
Yeah.
We just need to integrate it back in and make sure nothing is broken, but it is absolutely done. And it is a fully auto posing system, right? This is actually this is going to be crazy. Maybe I'll go ahead and answer your question, Trey, before I jump into it.
Okay. I was just asking, so because you just started talking, it came to my head. So I have like when I'm doing shadows in my world, like what is it? I see my shadow as a circle and a smiley, like a X for the eyes, and it's like a smiley face. But other people see my shadow normal. Is that a banter thing or what?
Yes, it's a banter thing, I guess. It's not exclusive to banter. It's I guess something that you can see from time to time in games. What it means is that we're really not properly handling the head. To not jump too far down that rabbit hole, in essence, the problem is if your avatar head has all of the mesh on it in your local avatar, that can sometimes obscure your camera and block your view. And it's really jarring when that happens. So we have to basically hide the head for yourself, right? But what happens then is that if you look in a mirror, then you'll see that your head is missing. But we actually solved that problem. When you make an avatar in Blender, you'll notice that it actually requires you to select the head. What we do then is we separate the head, and then we put the head onto a different layer that your local camera can't see, but that every other layer can see. And that has worked, right? Until you introduce dynamic lighting and you cast a shadow over your local avatar. And then all of a sudden, your head is missing. The good news is we're literally just talking about this today, myself, Aline, and someone else that we're in discussions with about this very topic, in fact, about a new avatar system that we want to build. And they've literally just solved that problem. So that problem is absolutely going to go away. The smiley face, right, by the way, I decided to just slap something in there so that it wasn't completely missing a head. And I said I'd maybe fuck with people a little bit as well and make it so that, there's dynamic lights. Oh, look at his face, right? So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed that.
Okay. And then my second question real quick is, you know how we used to have advanced controls in 2D mode?
Yes.
To where we can actually control our hands? Is there going to be any future updates to that to where I can control my hands in 2D mode again? So I can flip my hands over, like, and use my control, access my controls on my hands? Yeah.
So I think what we're probably going to do is try to improve on the old advanced controls when we do that. That's honestly the reason why we don't have it yet, is because we actually want to do it better than what we've done before. We've been talking about giving you individual finger control, right? So that you're able to control the bend of each individual finger on your hand. That's not something that we did before. So that'll be pretty interesting, right? But I think that's in the future. I think the plan will be for us to start to take other platforms and the differences between platforms a lot more seriously. To date, we've really kind of promoted a unified cross-platform experience, right? And what I mean by that is we've kind of tried to encourage people to build things as much the same for Quest as they can for PC, right? And I think in the future, what we're likely going to do is probably shift that up a little bit and maybe try to encourage people to make things a little bit higher quality for PC. And in a nutshell, we're going to meet that same energy ourselves by trying to improve the general PC experience, right? Which includes 2D mode and PC VR. But in general, right, PC has been a bit of an afterthought for us. We're always experimenting. We're always trying to be open to new ideas and stuff like that. So we're going to try and take PC and PC VR a little bit more seriously in the future. So for anybody who's interested in that, get ready for there to be built-in tools to the SDK that make it easier to build stuff for PC and mobile, and be able to tell like what device you're on. Maybe if you're on Quest 2, you can turn some of the more fancy stuff off and save some frames on that legacy device, right? And I think hopefully I'm talking to actually Vanquisher at the minute right now about one of his spaces, which we might actually use as a test case for this to see if we can find a way to just squeeze every last bit of it out of it on those lower end spaces, but not sacrifice the high end fidelity that people want in PC 2D mode and in VR.
Yes.
So
yes, definitely.
Yeah, go ahead, Grenade.
Thank you.
I had a little idea here, and it could either be in the AI or in the marketplace or something.
I cannot hear you all of a sudden, and I think it's down to my headphones. Crap, hang on. I can hear you now. Say something.
Can you hear me? Okay. You could implement this in different ways.
No, I can't. I'm so sorry. Hang on.
Oh my God. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Oh, my bad.
How about now?
Controller.
Can you hear me now?
It's stuck. Let's see. Is it my headset that's died?
The
audio is just tanked on my Quest, so I'm using a Bluetooth headset. I'm sure I sound a little bit different.
No.
I'm trying to see if that's what's.
No, we just need to reload.
We can hear you, but I can't hear you. Can't hear me.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Oh, he's gonna come back.
No, he poofed out of there.
Bring him back. Okay, while he's gone, what do we want to say about him? No.
Better switch to variety.
Yeah.
He was joking.
That's all right. No, I just.
Aleen's back there in the back.
Okay, I could tell her the thing. I don't know if she's back and can hear me or not. I'm not megaphone.
Way back there. She might be AFK.
Yes, you are.
That's why she's way back there.
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
And Shane's back.
Is he back yet?
She's back.
Can you hear me now? Yes. No.
I think of that commercial every time you say that. Oh my God.
Oh, I don't know if we can hear you. You look like you're moving in slow motion now. We can't hear you.
I cannot. I think is that his AI?
Is this his AI? No, he's not coming through, Shane.
Just give him a second. No,
maybe you should try the AI. It might
It's a very simple thing I wanted to say.
Still no.
I don't know if you can hear me. Nod your head if you can hear me. No, you can't hear me.
Yeah, no, there's nothing.
Oh man, ay.
Is it?
Batteries.
No.
Still can't hear me. No. You got technical problems.
Yeah, tell me about it.
There you go. Now you got it.
Oh, you can hear me now.
Gotcha.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
Nice one.
Yay.
Great.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Simple thing. Can we get a way to get text, like with clear text, where the background's clear, and type it out so you can add labels to things, or pick a color for the background, so you can put labels on things when you're doing it using the AI or some other like maybe the marketplace or something like that. I don't know if that's available or ability to do
Put
that.
labels on things. Interesting. What's the use case? Just to be able to remind yourself what it is?
Well, like when I was doing the AI world building, it would have been nice to have been able to put what the prompt was on the objects so that you could see what the prompt was. Or I could
Gotcha.
Make notes if I want to put a label over a door or something, or
I see,
or whatever.
Yes,
people have all kinds of reasons why they
well, in that case, that's actually probably an easy one to answer, right? The new world builder will allow you to access Text Mesh Pro, right? And you can just put a thing behind it, so you'll be able to create your own labels very easily.
You can just point with the manipulator at the object and it will show you the prompt and the image it used.
Well, I know, but for somebody else to see it, that after the world's built and you want to lock it down and you don't want you don't want the AI tool to be even used,
Yes.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, in case they wreck it.
Or for a million other reasons. I mean, there's a million reasons why you want to label or put words up.
Yes.
Make a sign.
Does anybody remember what I was talking about before? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Tracy.
Oh, no, I was just saying, I could have done with a label because I tried so hard to get the AI to type text. I wanted to put Banter Toy Box on my room, and you could put happy birthday, say you were making a world for your friends and things like that. What it doesn't handle is text at the moment. The world builder was a lot of fun, but yeah, I did miss being able to put a label on my particular world for whatever reason. Yeah.
Well, one thing you could possibly do, right? Because this world builder, it lets you press 9 to upload a custom image. So technically, you could make your own text on a custom image, make that into a label, right? And actually have it generate a 3D object of your text and let that become your label, right? That could be a way you could do it right now, today, without any changes. You did try that?
Uploading the GLB directly.
Absolutely. Yeah. I did because
yes,
the competition build I tried. It didn't like it.
Another option is just uploading the GLB, right? If you can just have the text flat in Blender, in theory, you can export a GLB and just import that direct.
Yeah, I think it was competition rules.
That could be another option.
So, yeah, thank you.
My one favorite program, Gravity Sketch, they have 6 fonts that you can type in, and they come in 3D, and you can make your words 3D. I don't know if you want to do that kind of a thing at some point, but
maybe, possibly. I'm not too sure. Right now we're about kind of leaning into the massively wide tool set that's going to be there available within Unity, right? And you'll have Text Mesh Pro and be able to leverage that. I think if people want to maybe extrude the text, maybe they can use some external tools to do that, right? But having text, having abilities to change all sorts of properties on that, like fonts and styles and all sorts of things as well, that'll be something that there should be a wealth of options in future for sure, right? But it's like, how far do you go with these things, right? We could get lost in the weeds and start building out loads of extra stuff on top, or we could try to expose the wealth of stuff that's already there and try to make sure that those channels are really, really good before we, bring our own opinions into it and try to decide what should be there. Honestly, it's kind of my new mantra is trying to take my own bias out of the equation where I can, and trying to trust the existing paradigms, the existing conventions, and the existing communities, right? That's a better way to do it, I think.
Okay.
I don't know. So that's more, Trey. We're just coming up to the hour, but go ahead.
I don't want you to forget.
No. I actually already forgot ages ago, but go ahead.
Okay. Is it gonna be any kind of integration in the future for like collaborating with other people when it comes to world building? Like, is it gonna be?
That's a great question.
I want to be able to collaborate. Yeah.
I think so, right? I definitely think so. There's definitely some split brain situations that we need to handle, right? We maybe need to have like a temporary locking thing that if one person's editing an object, another person can't, or handle some way to propagate changes between both of them so that everybody keeps things in sync and one person doesn't save and override someone else's work, right? But other than that, I don't see really any issue why we can't do that. I mean, there is a certain element of collaboration available right here in the AI world builder, right? You just have to hand the object manipulator tool back and forth between two people. Not simultaneous, maybe a bit clunky, but for sure, it's definitely something that we think is important, right? And it should definitely be a feature of the new world builder, is that when you're building in-game, things you're doing should at least have some level of synchronization with other people so that they can see the outputs of what you're doing as well, right? It's also going to be super helpful for testing.
Yes, definitely. Because I know when I was in somebody's world and they used the world builder, it took me like a while for me to see it. They moved it, but I didn't see them move it. Like for a while, it took like a long time for it to sync up.
Can you recall it? Is that a thing over here, Aline? If you click on this thing, does it recall it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, click
you click on this yellow button here, I think, and that will bring it back to the start for you. So that in case it gets lost.
Yeah,
But the new system, hopefully, right? The new world builder. Oh, yeah. Oh, right. I see what you mean. Well, that actually can be recalled as well, right? I think you can click on it here in the history list, and it will bring the object back to here, right? Back to this position
But
here.
I'm saying if it was right here and they moved it over there, I didn't see them move it. It's still showing right there for me, even though they moved it right there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so
right. Okay.
No, I just want to quickly say, when you recall it, it's not getting saved. So only you see that it got recalled only when you start moving it and saving it, then it's getting synced for everyone else. But the initial recall is only for you locally.
Yeah, that could explain it. In some cases, there is a possibility that things might not be perfectly synced. Honestly, the sync has been a little bit of a balance most recently because some of the defaults that we put out were part of the contribution to some of the problems people were experiencing in their worlds, right? Because it was set up that everybody could edit at once and autosave was always enabled. So sometimes people could come in and the world wasn't fully loaded and they might click save and that would actually save half the world over the other half, right? And you could lose some of your world. So we had to balance how that saving works and change up some of the defaults so that things didn't happen that people didn't expect, and leaned more towards trying to protect people's information. But I can tell you right now, it's something that will be, hopefully will be a lot easier with the new system anyway, because you'll be able to use your cursor that you've got built in, right? Your normal system cursor, rather than using an object manipulator. You'll just be able to put yourself in edit mode and click on any object in the space and be able to move it around,
That's
adjust
how we
it,
used to do in those space.
do all that kind of stuff.
We used to go in edit mode and be able to move stuff around, and then we can. Okay.
Yeah, you got it.
Real quick, what are the extra 6 save buttons that show up on the panel?
So that is also in response to some of the problems people were having, but that actually keeps the last 6 times you saved. That's a history of your last saves.
Okay.
No,
I believe. Oh, go ahead. What is it? It's save slots.
Wait a second. This version actually doesn't have the right set. No, so those are save slots. So you can just save 6 different states of the space, and you can load them and overwrite them. And then there is an undo, but I think I took them out. It's still doing all the undo processes, so it keeps a history. But the issue is you could actually delete it if you press the undo before anything loaded. So that's why it's currently not here.
Right. That's us 5 minutes over the hour. I'm going to be really toasty. But look, I want to leave you with the promise that we're working really hard behind the scenes here to try and get things as stable as we can. And honestly, there's some amazing things. I'm having some really exciting conversations behind the scenes. A lot of the AI stuff you might have saw last week. If you didn't, we live streamed it, so it is live on the YouTube. Go and check it out. Banter TV on YouTube. A lot of that stuff is going to be coming out soon as well, with maybe a little bit more polish on a few fixes on that too. You might start to see an increased agent population on the platform, right? So that's going to be fun. But anyway, thank you all for coming. I will see you all this time next week. And yeah, I'm going to jump out. Thanks very much, guys. See you later.
Cool. Yeah.